What is going on, traders, and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm glad to have you. Now in this video, I'm going over my watch list for the trading week of September 19th, 2022. Let's get to it. Alright, so the catalyst for this week: on Tuesday, the U.S. Census Bureau will release data on August housing starts and building permits. Now this data tracks the construction of new houses being built, and this number is projected to fall due to rising material costs and potential home buyers not taking out loans at higher interest rates. And on Wednesday, we have the FOMC policy decision. Now, many policymakers expect the interest rate to increase by 75 basis points. Now, we have to ask ourselves, has the market already priced this in? What if they go with 50 basis points? And what if they go with 100? We're just going to have to watch and play what we see, because, it could either run, it could drop, or we could just chop around with a lot of indecision. We're just going to have to wait and see. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this week's earnings calendar. All right, looking at this calendar, it's another light week. The only ones that we could play is Accenture, ticker symbol ACN, and Costco, ticker symbol COST. Their levels may be affected by the FOMC the day before, so we'll just go ahead and leave them alone for now. Now, FedEx also reports after the market closes on Thursday, but they released their data this past week and it caused a sizable sell-off for the stock. Congrats to those who caught that. I did not. All right, let's go ahead and look at some charts. All right, so we're going to start off with the indexes, and I haven't charted the Dow Jones on one of my watch list videos, so I'm going to go ahead and do that one right now, and then we'll get right back to it. All right, so here we have the Dow Jones Industrial Average, ticker symbol DJX, on the 15-minute chart. And you saw when I was charting this out, I started with the weekly, went down to the daily, went down to the 4-hour, then I went down to the 1 hour, and now we're on the 15-minute, the 2-week 15-minute. Okay, let me go ahead and extend this out a little bit so we can keep an eye on that. All right, so we can look at this one or two ways. The first way, the powers that be could allow the market to run up. So when the FOMC numbers come out, when the drop happens, if the drop happens, it won't drop as far, because if it starts selling off immediately and then we get more bad news, the drop could be more significant. Okay, so we're going to look at both sides of this. Okay, first off, the bullish scenario. Right now it's sitting around $308. The first thing we wanted to see is to get above $309. If it does, the first level that I'm looking for to test is around $310.50. If we can get through that, I want to see it get above this chop around range that we had on Wednesday, Thursday. It sold off and got to the bottom of this range, but I want to see it get above that around $313. If we can get above that, the next level is around $320. Okay, now the bearish scenario: if the Dow cannot get above $309, I'm looking for it to drop down to around $305.50. And if it can't hold that, the next level is going to be around $301. Okay, now if I zoom out a little bit, the next level past $301 is $296. Okay, so keep these levels on your watch list and let's see what happens. All right, up next is SPY, and here I have it pulled up on the 1 hour chart. And now this 1 hour chart just represents the last 2 weeks of price action. Okay, and right now the SPY is sitting at 385.50, around 385.50. In order for it to be bullish, it has to get above 388.50, and if it does, the first level that I'm looking for it to test is around 391. If it can get above that, 396. If it can get above that, 398.30. Now the next level is going to be above the psychological level of $400, and if it does, I'm looking for it to test around 401.50. All right, now the bear scenario. Now if it cannot get above 388.50, the first level that I'm looking for it to test is around 384.50. If it can't hold that, 381.30. And if it can't hold that one, I'm looking for it to drop all the way down to around 370, 371. Okay, so keep these levels on your watch list and let's see what happens. All right, up next is the QQQ, and here's the last 2 weeks of price action on the 1 hour chart. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit. Now right now the QQQ is sitting around 289.30. In order for the bullish scenario to take place, we needed to get above 291.60. If it does, the first level that I'm looking for to test is around $293. If it can get above that, $298. Okay, and of course the psychological level of $300, it has to break through that, and if it does, the first level that I'm looking for to test is the bottom of this gap right here around 303. If it can get through this gap right here, the next level will be around 310. That'll be amazing to happen. All right, but the bearish scenario, if it cannot get above 291.60, the first level that I'm looking for to test is around $289.30. If it can't hold that one, around $283.50. Now, if it can't hold that, the next level down is going to be around $275. Okay, so keep these levels on your watch list and let's see what happens. All right, and the last one we're going to look at is the Russell 2000 ETF, ticker symbol IWM. And this ETF tracks the small cap stocks. And this is the last 2 weeks of price action on the 1 hour chart. Okay, now right now IWM is sitting around $179. For the bullish scenario, it has to stay above 179, and if it does, the first level that I'm looking for to test is around $182. If it can get through that, 184. If it can get through that, around 187.30. all right, and if it can get through that, 189. Now the last time it got up to around 191.50, it was rejected, so we'll see what happens if it gets this high up. Okay, up next, the bearish scenario, like I said, is sitting around $179. If it cannot get above and stay above 179, the first level that I'm looking for to test is around 178. If it can't hold that, 177. If it can't hold that, the next level down is going to be around 169. Okay, so keep these levels on your watch list and let's see what happens. All right, so the first stock we're going to look at is the parent company of Facebook, Meta, ticker symbol META, and here I have it pulled up on the weekly chart. Now, if we go back and take a look at when this company first announced that they were shifting focus to the metaverse, that was back in October of 2021, and I have it marked with this arrow, so it's right about here. You can see it's been on a steady downtrend ever since then, and right now we're sitting around $146. Now, its pandemic lows of March 2020 was around $136.75. So it'll be interesting to see if they can hold this level, because if they can't, it'll be dropping down to its December 2018 lows of around $123. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this week's levels that I'm watching. All right, so now zoom down to the 15-minute. Zoom in a little bit right here. So what we have, Facebook is sitting around $146. So in order for it to stay bullish, we want to see it stay above $146. If it can, the first level that I'm looking for it to test is around 150. If it can get through that, the next level is around 156.50. If it can get through that, the next level up is around $169. Okay, now if Facebook cannot hold $146, we're going to go bearish, and the first level that I'm looking at is those 2020 pandemic lows of $136.75. And if it can't hold that, we're going to drop all the way down to the December of 2018 lows of around $123. Okay, so keep these levels on your watch list and let's see what happens. Okay, up next is Costco, ticker symbol COST, and here I have it pulled up on the weekly chart showing the volume profile. Now, I wasn't planning on covering this one until I saw this, and I've been reading that some analysts feel the market has an additional 20% to drop, and with Costco sitting around $500 right now, 20% down from there will be about $400. And with this thin amount of buyers in this range right here, it could fall all the way down to around 388, and that would be a fantastic put to the downside. Okay, so that's the reason why I'm interested in this one. So let's go ahead and go down to the 4-hour chart and take a look at the levels for this week. Now right now Costco is sitting at $504. In order for it to stay bullish, we want it to stay above 503, and if it can do that, the first level that I'm looking for it to test is around 509. If it gets through that, the next level is 523.50. If it can get through that, the next level is 539.50. Okay, now if the market is selling off and Costco cannot hold $503. The first level that I'm looking for it to test is all the way down here at 482.50. If it can't hold that, 461.50. And if it can't hold that, all the way down to 438.28. And remember, if it can't hold this one, I'm looking for it to do a steep drop all the way down to 400 or lower, okay? So keep these levels on your watch list and let's see what happens. All right, up next is Google, ticker symbol GOOGL, and here I have it pulled up on the 4-hour chart. Now, Google has been chopping around between $102 and $122.60 since the end of April of this year. Now, it did drop under 101 on Friday, but it was quickly bought up, okay? So here are the levels that I'm watching for this week. Now, right now, Google's sitting at $102.80. It needs to hold $102. And if it can, the first level that I'm looking for it to test is around $105.50. If it can get through that, the next level is $110.50. If it can get through that, the next level is $116. Okay. Now, if Google can't hold 102, I'm looking for it to drop down to around 101. If it can't hold that, the psychological level of $100 will be kind of tough to break. But if it does, I'm looking for it to drop down to around $96.50. Okay, so keep these levels on your watch list and let's see what happens. All right, and the last stock we're going to look at is Apple, ticker symbol AAPL. Now, when I looked at this one on the weekly chart, 3 out of the last 4 weeks it's been red and it's been dropping. But it has held $150. Now we need to see if it can do it again this week. Now right now, Apple is sitting around $150, $151. It needs to hold 150, and if it can, the first level that I'm looking for it to test is around 152.50. If it can get through that, all the way up to 163.50. Okay. Now if it can't hold $150, I'm looking for it to drop down to around $141. If it can't hold that, the next level is going to be around $137. If it can't hold that, all the way down to around $132. Okay, so keep these levels on your watch list and let's see what happens. And that is the end of the video. If you found value, please smash that like button and consider subscribing. Here's wishing you a prosperous week of trading, and until next week, talk to you later.